Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we laid the foundation of our footer section by setting up the basic schema settings. Today, we are going to bring those settings to life by designing the footer using Tailwind CSS. This is where we start to see the real impact of customization option we built earlier, making the footer section both functional and visually appealing. Before we dive into the design, let's do a quick recap of what we set up in the previous video. So we have created the schema settings for our photo background color, then font colors, social media icons. So we have custom copyright text section, and then we have padding for mobile and desktop devices, and then we have created these three blocks. First we have navigation, and then we are going to add this image and the description of our store, and then we have option for newsletter. So these settings allow user to customize their footer easily from the Shopify theme customizer. Now we are going to use these settings in our design to create a responsive and modern footer. So let's get started. Let's talk about the columns in footer. The columns in the footer depends upon the size of our blocks. By this I mean, if we go here, you can see I have added 4 blocks here. So if we save it and refresh on the front end, okay, let me add some code. So we need to check how many blocks do we have in our footer sections. So how do we do that? For that we need to use section dot blocks dot size. So this will give us the number of blocks that we have added in our footer. Okay, let's refresh that. Let's go to footer. Okay, let me check if this is working. So let me refresh that again. You can see here, let me make the screen a bit large. You can see we have 4 blocks here. So if I delete one of the block here and save that, so the number of blocks should be 3. Okay, so if we have 3 blocks here, then our footer columns would be 3. If 4, let's say the footer column would be 4. So we are going to create a dynamic class that depends upon the size of our blocks. Okay, so let's do that. First of all, let's create a condition if section dot blocks dot size is greater than 0, only then we are going to show our footer blocks. So let's create a div with the class, let's add max width of 7XL and then MX auto. Okay, let me remove A from here. No, I think it's right. Yes, max W7XL. Then let's add some padding. Let's say px2. For MD, let's say px2. For LG, let's say px0. Okay, let's add px3 for small devices. So now we are going to create a variable where we are going to store our dynamic class. Okay, So let's do that. I'm going to paste a code here, piece of code. It's a liquid piece of code where we have created a variable footer grid class, and the class depends upon the size of the block size. Okay, so if the block size is 2, then we have created this lg call 2. If the block size is 3, then lg grid calls 3. If the block size is 4, then we have calls 4. Okay, so now let's create a div where we are going to show the footer blocks. Okay, let's add some classes. We start with the grid, and grid calls 1 for the small devices. For MD, we're going to use grid calls 2, and for LG we are going to use this variable. Okay, but first of all we need to generate these classes. Okay, so let's say grid calls 2. Let's save this. You can see our Laravel mix is generating the CSS. So let's say 3. Let's save that, and let's add 4 and save that. Okay, so our CSS is generated. Now we can use this variable here. Okay, let's do that. Now our footer columns are dynamic on the large screen sizes. Okay, so we have blocks, so we need to generate a loop. Let's say for loop. Let's say block in section dot blocks dot section dot blocks. Okay, that's it. So here we are going to use a case. So case statement. Okay, so we used same when condition in image banner with sidebar. So if you have any doubt, you can go there and check that video. Let's remove this else. So let's create our first case. So case block dot type, and condition would be when linked list. So the type is basically in the block we have created this type, so we are using same thing here. So when linked list, then first of all we need to create our we have this heading. So let's create first condition if blocks dot settings dot heading not equal to blank. Then let's add h2 with and add this heading. Okay, so we have this ID. We have ID for the navigation also, which is footer nav. So let's create a UL tag, and here we are going to create a loop, one more loop, whereas let's say link in block dot settings dot the ID of our footer block, which is footer nav dot links. Okay, so let's create a li tag, and with li need to create a tag, and here we are going to use link dot URL. And for the title, we will use link dot titles. So we have used this in our header, so you can go our header section and check how the loops works. Okay, so this is our first case, and the second case would be use when, let's say this one, block type is image. We are going to create a div and add image. So first of all, let's check if we have image. If block dot settings dot image is the ID, not equal to blank, then we will create this image tag. So the name of the ID here, so we can copy this and paste that here, and we are going to use Shopify filter for image URL, and we are going to display master image. Okay, so we can also use the style tag here, that we can control the width of the image. So for that, we have setting here in the block, which is this. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need to check if we have a stored description. Okay, let's go here in the div. Let's check if block dot settings dot short description is there. Let's create a div and add this setting. So our next case is, so let's copy this. So when, I think the next block type is checkbox. So let's check that. Okay, so here is checkbox. In checkbox, we have newsletter heading. So when checkbox, we will display first this and then the form. Okay, so let's check if. So let's create a div first, and then in the div, let's check if block dot settings dot newsletter heading is there. So let's copy our h2 tag. No need to copy. Let's write h2 and add this. Okay, so sorry for that, we need to do this in liquid syntax. We need to add a form here. So I have created a form. Let me copy that form and paste that here, otherwise the video will be very long. Let's get a div and add a form here. Okay, first of all, we have form tag, then form type and UTF-8. And then we have this input that has an ID of newsletter form.section.id. And then the name, actually you need to take care of it, contact the email. So it should be like something like this. Okay, starting with the contact. And the values is form.email, and then we have some rules for the like error handling. Then we have submit button, and in the submit button I have used this icon arrow. If we go to our snippet folder, so we don't have that icon arrow. Let's create that file. Say icon arrow dot liquid. Okay, so now let's go to our hero icon, and okay, let's choose this arrow, copy this, and go to your icon arrow file and paste that here. In the size 6, yes, use your Tailwind CSS classes at 6 and W6. So save it, and our form is ready. So I have made here a small condition. If the form is posted successfully, then we are going to display this success message, and we have error message also. Okay, so we have, if the form has some errors, then we are going to show this message. I think we need to check if we have this vendor error file also. Let's go to our snippet folder. Icon error, we need to find this file. Okay, there is no such file. Let's create that file also. So icon errors dot liquid. Okay, let's go to our Tailwind. Let's say error if we have something like this. So let's choose this one, copy this and paste that here, and in the size, let's create let's use W6 and H6. Let's save that, and our blocks are done. I think this is it for this video. We will continue to work on footer design in the next video. If you found this video tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And as always, if you have any questions or need help with your own project, leave a comment below and reach out to me directly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.